What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Life Wide Open podcast. We got a great episode for you today. We have our friend, a fellow Minnesotan YouTuber, Zach, the Millennial Farmer. He lives just down the road from us. There's not many YouTubers around in Minnesota, so we were pretty pumped to finally get to meet. Zach is a fifth-generation farmer that picked up a camera and started filming his daily life and blew up on YouTube.
1 million subscribers.
He has over 1 million subscribers. Yeah, it's crazy. So he runs through just his story on how all that happened and how much his life has changed from just the fame aspect. People are showing up to his house now.
The money aspect of being a farmer, being a YouTuber and a farmer.
Yep.
He answers the question if he's making more money being a farmer, being a YouTuber, the issues that come with being a YouTube farmer, and really just being a farmer in general.
And also getting a lot of hate from the farming community.
That too.
It's a great story. Let's get into it, guys.
Being rural, it can be really hard to get to the doctor for something that's not life-threatening. But don't compromise and let your health become a second priority. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you and instantly book appointments with them online. It's actually why I love ZocDoc. It's online. It's easy to find the right doctor in my insurance network or for your specific issue. So, guys, go to ZocDoc.com/wideopen and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/wideopen, ZocDoc.com/wideopen.
Dude, this has been a long time coming.
A horrible day.
It was.
Man.
We felt so bad, too, because I think some people came from, like, Iowa or something like that.
They came from, like, Green Bay area.
Dude, it was a blizzard, and it was 20 below. And the plan was to be outside the entire day.
Yeah, it wasn't like a normal blizzard.
No,
it was
brutal.
awful.
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, we felt like kind of babies being like, oh, we can't make it. But I actually don't know if we would have made it there even.
I'm not sure that you would have. The other people were only there because they stayed in Alexandria the night before.
Okay, yeah. I think the highway was closed between here and there.
And we're pretty good about filming in blizzards and nasty conditions. I mean, that's half the year we spend it like that. So we just literally couldn't make it.
No, we went 200 feet from my house, and I didn't even want to go out there.
Yeah, you're like,
it was horrible.
I don't know why we picked to live in Minnesota, I guess.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
God, isn't it terrible filming when it's like negative, like 20? Just
Your fingers don't work.
Yeah,
like all the little buttons on the cameras.
Yep. Then you have to pull your gloves off, and yeah, it's tough. But
Yeah,
we do it.
Worst.
Well, guys, this has been a long time coming. A lot of people think that we're the only YouTubers from Minnesota. You'd be wrong. There's one more.
There's one more.
We got Millennial Farmer sitting next to us on the podcast. Zach, man, it's been a long time coming. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, we're a whole hour and a half down the road, so it's hard to get together.
Yeah, you would think, but we've been trying to do this for what, 2 years now?
Like probably.
It's like you got a busy schedule. It's like you're working 2 jobs.
Well, same way with, I mean, you guys you're gone all the time. Even just trying to get this coordinated. Like we canceled a couple of months ago again. It's just you guys have a lot going on too. See, mine's easier because I just film what I do every day. You guys have to keep coming up with bigger and bigger ideas all the time.
We do. We're on the road a lot too, especially in the winter. Like you said, it's tough to film around here. You know how that goes.
Right.
And so, we hit the road and we travel quite a bit, especially these months. But
especially when there's no snow. Then
Yeah.
you really got to come up with stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's positive side to that and also like the negative. We were planning on snow, so it made it hard.
Yeah,
we
to
had
not
to
have
scratch a
anything.
lot of our plans, and then try to come up with stuff on shorter notice because we're normally pretty planned out. Just that way we can have these contraptions built or, the materials to build them. So, yeah, it did throw us for a little bit of a loop, but I'm not, like, hating on it, not having snow.
Yeah,
Just
it's
sucks
okay.
not being able to snowmobile around here, but.
Yeah.
is that good for you? No snow season?
I mean, no, not really. But I don't think it's terrible this year because there's not any frost really either. Mm-hmm. So I think I would expect that it's going to start raining and snowing at some point because March and April always does. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to go more in the ground instead of washing over the top because we just don't have that frost there holding it up.
So is that worse because it soaks in?
No, I'm going with it's better because
Okay.
it's going to replenish some of the moisture underneath because we've been dry for a couple of years now. So there's just not a lot of subsoil moisture underneath.
And then you'll get one of those really great videos where you get the tractor stuck up to the top of the tracks.
Yeah.
And it takes 3 weeks to get out.
Yeah, but that's the silver lining is you get some videos out of that.
Right.
I was going to ask that because my grandpa was a farmer, and so I would spend some harvest time with him, right? And it seemed like things would go wrong all the time.
Every day.
Because they're just complicated machines that are always breaking. So there is a bit of a silver lining for you. Like, do you feel that way? You're like, when something breaks, you're like, okay, this sucks because I have to fix it.
Right.
But
it is ridiculous that way because there can be things that happen where it's, yeah, it does. It sucks. Like it shuts everything down. It's annoying as hell. But you're like, well, like today's video is not going to be boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I've
At least I
got
got a
something.
title.
You got a good thumbnail.
Yeah.
Whereas for any other farmer, it's just completely all negative.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
a
Like it's
lost
just
day.
more work. Yeah. So what do you all farm then?
Right now it's just corn and soybeans.
Okay.
So we just like this standard boring grain farm of corn and soybeans right now. We had livestock when I was younger. Dad had cattle and hogs out there, and we had 100 acres of wheat last year. My dad is 65 years old. He had never grown wheat. So we had our first 100 acres of wheat last year. And then we had, like I say, we had the cattle and hogs. We had a lot of kidney beans when I was younger. So it changes a little bit, but right now just corn and soybeans.
So you've been farming your whole life.
Yeah.
You're fifth generation?
Sixth, actually.
6 now.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. So did you have a passion for like, filmmaking or making videos, or how did you go from being a farmer to now a farmer and YouTuber?
It's the total opposite. Like I don't know what I'm doing with the camera that I use.
You really don't need to.
No, you really don't. I tell people that all the time. You don't have to get overly fancy. I mean, if you got it and you want to do it that way, fine, but I don't.
Yeah.
I just want to, pull it out of my coat pocket, and when I need the clip, I can hit the button and take the clip.
So are you doing iPhone or?
No, I use it's a Canon phone, G7X.
Okay, yeah.
For the camera guys, I guess. It's like a thick cell phone. It fits in my coat pocket. I mean, it would have to, or else I've tried like GoPros are just super glitchy.
Yeah,
they're not worth
They
it.
Kind of a
drive me
pain.
nuts.
Yeah.
The audio's not good, so then you need like a different microphone on it, and then it gets annoying to
Yeah.
carry around. So I use the Canon, which is like $800 now, I think, and I wreck a lot of them.
Oh, so do we. It's bad.
It's just a cost of
Doing business.
That's what we say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So how'd you start that?
Yeah.
Like how'd the video start?
I started it because I was seeing a lot of stuff out there about farming that wasn't like they didn't have the whole truth. Like stuff online about like GMOs, that was a big one. It's not as talked about anymore, but genetically modified seed, drain tile, being bad for the environment, irrigation, the way people treat livestock, like spraying pesticides and stuff. And what I wanted to do was figure out a way to like talk about that stuff, but not in a defensive way, just be actually transparent about it and like, show when we do that stuff. Yeah, this is why we use those things, and this is what we know about it. Just because it seemed like people had a little bit of the idea there, but they didn't really know the full truth. I mean, yeah, we do spray pesticides, and yeah, there are advantages and disadvantages to some of the practices that we use, but overall, we're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And we eat the food too, right? So that was kind of why I started it. And then it just, like it started as my goofy little hobby. I had to use YouTube to figure out how to start a YouTube channel.
Yep.
Same.
I had to use
So did
YouTube to
CJ.
figure out how to edit a video.
Yep.
I mean, I used YouTube for everything, and then it just started snowballing. And one fall, we had a couple videos that took off, and it just motivated me to keep making more and more videos. And then my wife was really the one that turned me on to it. Like, hey, seems like I think this might be a legit thing. We should maybe push this a little more. And then from there, it just.
And what year was that exactly? Like, would you say?
I started it in the spring of 16.
Okay.
So it's been almost 8 years now.
Wow.
And it took off, I think it was fall of 17 was when it started to take off, and we started getting more motivated about it. And like a year later, fall of 18, it really, and it just grew.
You were a full-blown
Yeah.
YouTuber.
Yeah, I guess so.
What do you call yourself? A YouTuber or a farmer, or a farmer YouTuber?
Yeah, when people ask,
Yeah,
like, oh, what do you do for a living?
I always say I don't really, I mean, if a normal person, if somebody asks that doesn't know I'm a YouTuber,
Yeah.
I just say I'm a farmer.
Yeah, that makes
I don't
more
try to
sense.
So much
I
easier.
agree.
Yeah, so much
That's
easier.
way easier.
Yeah, like your average Joe Schmo that's 60 years old isn't going to get it.
Yeah,
I
they go,
make tractor
"What's-
videos too.
What's a farmer? You're like, oh man, I really can't explain my second job.
So yeah, to most people, I just say that I'm a farmer
Yeah.
for the most part. But it's kind of the joke now around the farm that like I have to farm now, so I have something to YouTube.
So you have
So you
Right.
got something to film.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does everyone else think about that? That's like, been a part of the family farm operations, and then next thing you know, you're walking around filming their ass, and you're like,
With the camera.
yeah, they're like, hold on now, I don't know if I signed up for this.
It took like 2 years before I would film anything with anybody else around, and people were starting to ask like, "What? How come you never show us the other guys running the tractor? Are you the only guy out here doing this, or like why don't you show us anything else? Because I didn't want to stick the camera in everybody's face.
It's really
It's kind of an
uncomfortable.
awkward thing to do.
Yeah.
Very, yeah. It's uncomfortable for them and the guy running the camera.
Yeah.
right? So, like, Dad knew that I was doing it. None of the other guys did. And we don't have a bunch of guys full-time. It's just Dad and I. But we have seasonal guys that help us out in the spring and fall when it's the busiest and my content is the best.
Right.
But it took a while. I actually think, so Jim would be like the next guy that works for us the most. I'm pretty sure he found out from his grandkids that I was making YouTube videos.
You're on YouTube. And he's
Grandpa,
like, what?
we saw you on YouTube. Yeah, I think it was exactly like that.
That is so funny.
And then it took me a while to really get comfortable, like letting him know when I did and didn't have the camera. And then it's one of my most popular videos, but he got stuck with the tractor, like bad stuck.
Okay.
And I had to jump in it. We hooked it up to pull it out, and I jumped in it, and I knew, like, I need this clip, and it's going to be so much better from outside. So I turned the camera on, and I gave it to him, like, Jim, I know you're going to hate this, but you got to hold the camera. And, oh, God, it's just typical old guy complaining about the camera. And then when we edited the video, like, he was talking to the camera the whole time, like, he was getting off on it. He loved it. So from there on, I'm like, all right, Jim is all in.
Yeah, you're in.
It doesn't bother him a bit.
And then people watching the videos are like pretty stoked because there's another customer, there's another
character
personality to watch. Yeah,
you need characters in the story.
I was just watching a video, and I think it was your son Onyx, you walked in the door, and he's like working on getting something out of his shirt, and he goes, turn that damn thing off.
He's probably the most uncomfortable with it.
You'll work
I think
into it.
so. He'll get there.
I guess this is tough. Do like kids say anything to you at school?
Not really, I guess, because like I was already at the age where like I already had my buddies and I already knew them before the YouTube took off. I feel like it would be definitely different if like I was like a kindergartner and then grew up from there with it. But I don't know. I kind of just had my group and my buddies. So.
Yeah.
Does it help you like getting some street cred, being that you're on?
No,
YouTube?
no, not at all. No, not usually.
Okay.
It doesn't help with the chicks.
No.
Maybe being on the CBoys podcast, though.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe. I hope so.
Not with the chick part, though.
Okay, yeah, maybe not.
How do you go every day and try to keep it interesting? Like, do you ever struggle with that? You're like, dang, I, for the last couple of years, have done the same thing. Like, how do you go through and try to structure a video so it can be fun to watch? Do you have like a method to that madness?
No, but I have that thought all the time. I've been saying that to my wife for 3 or 4 years now. It's like, I feel like a lot of days I'm making the same video. She's like, yeah, but 500,000 people will watch it. So I keep making it. And she's right. I mean, it is, some of them are pretty similar. Some of them are not, but I think people just like to see the process of like year round, beginning to end.
Yeah.
Like, how's the crop doing? I think they just like to see the documentation of it. It's so much different than you guys, where you got to come up with, like, you got to have these ideas ahead of time, right? You guys are fabricating stuff and coming up with all kinds of ideas and really planning ahead, where I'm just documenting the process of what we're doing on the farm. Does
it make your day longer? Like, does it take you more time to do things because you're setting up with the camera and filming it?
Sometimes, but I try as hard as I can to make sure, like, to prevent that. That's why I use the camera that I use that fits in my coat pocket and everything, so I don't have to
throw it out,
set stuff up.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty envious of you. You get to do a process that, like, makes a product that is valuable and then also film it. And whereas like our filming process is typically ends up with like something that's just completely invaluable. Like, it's just worth nothing. Like you're like almost double dipping. Well, you definitely are.
I guess so. But I feel like there's also probably, and I don't know that for sure yet, but I feel like your guys has more longevity to it.
Oh, wow.
I feel
you might be the first person that's ever said that.
Really? No, because you guys, like I say, you put all the planning into it and you're fabricating, you got all these ideas. Like, you can jump around and do different stuff, right? If I leave my farm, nobody cares. Like, I'll go make a different style video and it gets half the views.
But people also love you because of your personality and your wit and your jokes, so like you might think that, but I think you'd be pretty surprised.
You get people to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I think you could easily go and do something else that you really like to do, like snowmobiling or racing, and people would be just as interested.
Yeah, we've started, so we have a second channel now that we've been doing a lot of the racing stuff on. And, I mean, it does all right, but instead of getting 500,000 views, which is a really good video for me, they get, the good ones there get a couple 100,000, which is still good.
Still, yeah.
I mean, it's still something, and we haven't pushed it really to try and, make it real big yet, but It doesn't feel as good when you see the videos doing half of what your normal videos do.
For sure.
You don't have to tell us, man. We know.
I know how it
Like,
goes.
it hurts a lot when some of those videos you work the hardest on do the poorest, or like
Yeah.
the ideas you're really proud of.
And then you throw up one of those videos and you go, people are not going to like this one. And then it does really, really well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most random thing. Who knows what it is, right? If it's something you did right in the video, like the thumbnail, the title, the video itself, or if YouTube just, the algorithm grabbed it for whatever reason.
Sometimes you get lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had some terrible videos do really well.
Isn't that the worst too? When it's like you're like, this is not my best work, and then that's the one going crazy. And you're like, God dang it! Now everyone's gonna like that come across me. They're gonna think this is how all my videos are.
Right. Yeah, all these new people coming to the channel because of
my
this
worst
video.
video. God damn it.
Like, why couldn't
yeah.
this have been better?
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes though.
How we focus on weird stuff, though.
Yeah.
You do dirt track racing, right?
Yeah,
Do you travel around for it?
a little bit, not a ton. We travel around a lot regionally, like Wisconsin, the Dakotas. In that regard, I used to travel a little bit nationally, like 10 years ago, before his sisters were born, and it was easier to get away and do all of that. Now he's a little bit older. We took him down to Arizona this winter. So a month ago, we were in Arizona, raced down there for 2 weeks, and then I ran in an indoor race at the Dome in St. Louis in December. So we got away a couple times this winter, which was nice. But I mean, hopefully we can do a little bit more of that in the future.
How long have you been racing?
Since I was 15.
Okay, so you've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, quite a while.
What is it about racing that you like?
All of it. I mean, I like the competition. That's the biggest thing, I think, is just the competition side of it. But I mean, oddly enough, I'm not really competitive anywhere else. I don't care that much if we're screwing around doing whatever else. I don't think I have a super competitive personality. But when it comes to racing, I just love it. I want to go out there and try and beat everybody else.
You're okay with the whole like hurry up and wait kind of aspect that comes with racing, though?
No, that drives me nuts sometimes.
Yeah, dude.
That's
all
kind of
day
what
just
turns
waiting.
us away from doing like really any kind of race. And really the only race that we do is like Cleetus's races.
Yep.
Which we did the one at Bristol with you actually. But, you know, other than that, like we hate going to races just because of how long you just sit there and wait.
And there's some tracks that are really good at pushing that along. And then you got other tracks where you have to get there at like 4 p.m. and then you don't race anything until 7 or 8 o'clock. You run like quick 8 laps, and then we might sit around again till 11 o'clock at night. And then by the time you get everything loaded up and you drink all the beer, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And then you got to drive home from wherever at some point the
Yeah.
next day. You got to go all the way hours back home. It's like a whole weekend just to run a few laps.
And then you're exhausted the next day.
Yep.
Yeah, that part of it does get to me some because I'm really impatient like that too. But the race itself is what makes it all worth it, I guess, for me. So you guys, even like when we go to Bristol, you just don't like waiting around most of the day?
It's just
Those are different.
yeah, that's different because we're there, you know, knowing that like that's just part of the process.
And it's
but
fun too because there's like a lot of people around that you get to talk to. But I think when you say we don't like the races, it's typically like other races and events that we go to.
you know, a good example is Evan, who's a part of the channel, does like ice racing, or used to be like an ice racer.
Like with a car?
No, dirt bike.
Dirt bike.
Oh, okay.
We've gone to a couple ice races with him and just like filmed that. And like that sucks because you're sitting outside and it's cold.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting around.
You're
yeah.
waiting around, and then he runs, and then he piles up in the first corner, and then we're waiting another 2 hours. And so
You're there all day, and he piled it up in corner one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I did that when we drove to St. Louis this year, and we got a whole bunch of different tires ready, and we switched the car over to gas. So we changed the carburetor and the fuel cell and all this stuff, and we got ready for this big race. Drove all the way to St. Louis like 2 days ahead of time. And then I qualified really well, started on the front row. I went into corner one way too hard and like threw it ass end into the wall and screwed up the whole week. It's just like, oh, I could have done that at home.
yeah, a whole lot into just doing that. Yeah, that's the worst, dude. We do that all the time when we're traveling, and then we have a vehicle that breaks just immediately, and we're like, well, back to the drawing boards. We're here for the next couple days.
But you can make content out of it sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of like YouTube is, you know, you can kind of turn lemons into lemonade with pretty bad lemons, you know.
Right. Yep. So have any of you ever run circle track?
Oh, I don't
No, really, our only racing experience is Ken and Evan in Cleetus's race. I'm racing in his next one. I was going to ask for some advice.
Are you in that one?
Is it in April?
Yeah,
April.
the helicopter.
No.
Well,
I'm
you
not
might-
in that
you
one.
might have
But
more
you're
of a
going to run.
chance,
So
right?
that's with, is that with the Crown Vics again?
Yeah.
Yep. At the Freedom
advice for
Factory.
me?
No, I don't have. My advice is the way I drive on dirt track is not how you're supposed to run those cars.
Okay.
I know that. Like when we were down in Florida, you guys weren't at the Freedom Factory in November, were you?
No, we weren't there.
So I was teamed up with Derek, Vice Grip Garage.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out in this car and like just goes from like 8th somewhere back there, just like wiggles his way to the front and leads all the way to the halfway point. Just smooth sailing, like did a beautiful job. So I get in, I'm like, I can't remember who, there were some big names next to me and around me. Like, I don't think Pastrana was up there, but names like that, right? Starting right up front
racing with
me.
him. Like,
Yeah.
just like,
And I'm just like, holy shit, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This car is big and heavy and slow, and we're on tar. I don't race on tar. And I you got to stop and get down into the dog leg on the backstretch, and then you're turning right, and there's mud all over the track. I'm like, shit, like Derek did a really good job of this. I should be as good of a driver as Derek.
Yeah.
And I got into one really good. Like we took off at the start, and I'm looking in my mirrors like, oh yeah, I got this. This is good. And I hit the brakes and threw it sideways like a dirt car, and I'm just screeching down into one like, oh shit, just back and forth with the steering wheel. And I finally got it straightened up, and they split me. Like 3 cars go around me, and the next guy just piles into the back of me. So now I'm sliding every direction. We go 1 lap into it, and I'm in like 10th place.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about crashing, honestly.
I crashed pretty hard at Bristol, and it didn't hurt that bad, so you should be all right.
Okay.
the nice thing is,
You know, you sit down at the family gathering and you get cornered by that one family member who you kind of feel like you have to lie to because they're asking all the pressing questions like when you're getting married or what's going on with that promotion or maybe why you still haven't moved out of mom and dad's basement. But you know she's really only asking because she wants to judge you. While you may have to come up with some lies for your family, you shouldn't feel that way when you're talking to your doctor. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you and instantly book appointments with them online. We're talking about tens of thousands of doctors, all with verified patient reviews so that you can make sure that they are the right fit. With ZocDoc, you have more options than you know. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat basically any condition you're searching for. Being rural, it can be hard to get to the doctor for something that's not life-threatening, but don't compromise and let your health become a second priority. That's actually why I love ZocDoc. It's all online. It's easy to find the right doctor in my insurance network. So go to ZocDoc.com/wideopen and download the ZocDoc app for free to book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/wideopen, ZocDoc.com/wideopen. You guys know that we love Shopify, and if you need a storefront to sell online, you will too. We actually have a new drop coming this Thursday, and that means our entire website needs to be overhauled. New products, new pictures, new design, even parts of the layouts are going to change. So that's why we love Shopify. We can do all this with no coding required in a week, in a couple days, honestly. They've got an endless supply of third-party apps to help your shopping experience be even better. But my favorite part about Shopify is they make it simple to sell online for anyone, even us. They've got easy-to-design product pages with no coding required. And if you don't have your own brand but you want to sell online, with Shopify Collective, you can curate products to sell from the brands that you love, giving your customers more variety and your business more sales. We absolutely love using Shopify, and I know that you will too. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/wideopen, which is all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/wideopen now to grow your business no matter what stage you are in. Shopify.com/wideopen.
for you, Ryan, is we have very low expectations and also a very low bar to beat. Like you look, I think Evan took second to last in Bristol, and
I don't think
Ken,
there was
you
any
did
running cars behind
decent. You did decent in your
Yeah,
race,
but
but we were
pulled
teamed
off
up
the
with
track
we
4
were
times.
teamed up with Haley Deegan, so she might have helped a little bit in that. But you don't have like there's not much worse you could do.
It's true.
There is a lot on the line, though.
I forgot that you were a part of that. You were a part of that crash in Bristol, weren't you?
Not the one you're probably thinking of with Haley,
Oh, okay.
but the year
No,
after.
just
the
this
year
recent
after.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So my first car broke down again. Since both times I've run it, I've been running pretty, like, okay, feeling pretty good about it with a lot of race left. And then I overheat, or this last one broke a ball joint. So I just like go into the corner and the right front's all goofy and it slides up towards the wall. And then everyone starts bumping into the back of me.
Yeah.
But this last year, not many people saw it because I wasn't running up front at all. But he got under my quarter panel and just turned me right into the wall. Like,
And you went up and smashed into the wall, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Yeah,
right in
hurt.
front of me.
it hurt.
Yeah,
It
I
looked
bet.
like it hurt.
Yeah. I mean,
Still a
not
car
that bad,
accident.
but I think that, like,
You know,
it kind of scared me because
dead
I've
stop.
never. hit like that. It was just a different hit than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I mean, I can crash 100 times in the dirt car. Like it happens. I've been through it before, but this one scared me a little bit.
Yeah, because you kind of just went down and then straight up into the wall,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a head-on collision.
Hurt the
That's
ego more
good.
than anything.
Yeah.
Certainly
No
wasn't like Haley's crash the year before.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Hers
That was really
nasty.
bad.
I am glad that I'm racing alone because I don't think I'd like, not because I don't like sharing, but I would have the same worries that if the person before me did really well, I'd be like, crap, now I'm going to let them down. Or
Right.
if there was someone after me, I'd be like, I can't wreck the car for them. And that would mess with my like planning of the race, my super thought out, well planned
Right.
race plan.
That
I
will
have.
never go the way you want it to.
Exactly.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the car that I ran at the Freedom Factory with Derek. He had run that car like 5 times. Not a scratch on it. And I beat the living shit out of it.
He's like, I don't get my car back next time I come here.
Yeah, it's all messed up now. Someone has to fix it. I don't know if it's him or Cleetus or
Do they
I don't
fix
know who.
those cars after, or do they just
I think ours is getting fixed. Cause
really? It wasn't too messed up.
Really?
Cleetus
That
was
makes
like,
sense, I
yeah,
suppose.
You
You
guys
gotta-
probably just run yours again.
Yeah, a lot of them are the same cars that stick around for a while. They just have to fix them all up.
Yeah.
That makes sense because there's no way he could source 25 Crown Vics
God,
every
that'd be
month.
expensive too.
Yeah.
Right.
Those
blow money.
cages and everything in there that you got to put into it.
The safety on them got so much better the second time at Bristol.
Yeah, it
that
did.
was obvious.
Yeah, he puts a lot of work into those cars.
Oh, a ton. I can't imagine how much work that must take. And then to try and get them somewhat equal when they're all different engines and transmissions and whatever.
Exactly.
It's the same car, but they're really not.
Yeah, it really is quite the operation. You know, it's really impressive. But there's a lot on the line this year, Ryan. Helicopter.
Ben's really trying to get his helicopter license.
And
Wait,
if
but he
gonna
needs a
fly it
helicopter
home if he
first.
wins?
Well, I'll worry about that.
I want to
after
see
he
Ben fly
wins.
that helicopter home, dude. That would be hilarious. All the way from Florida.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's legal, but yeah.
Oh, it's definitely not.
You can't fly.
They're going
You
to pull
guys-
you over?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
the air police going to pull you over?
That's true. I probably wouldn't have much to worry about. No, Cleet said if you win it, he'll fly it back.
Oh,
Really?
nice.
No, he didn't say that, but I'm gonna hold him to it. Dude,
Talk him into it.
People were like, "You're such an asshole. You're like giving away a helicopter. What if they don't have their helicopter license?" And he's like, "It's a $150,000 helicopter.
They'll
They
be
get-
fine.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Yeah,
You could sell it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish I won nothing. That'd be so much better than winning a helicopter.
Yeah.
you should pay for their helicopter license."
He's like, no, I gave him a helicopter.
Yeah, the rest is on them.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so sick though to have a helicopter.
Wouldn't that?
Oh, it'd be the best.
Then you'd have to, somebody would have to get their license for it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to do content with it if you get a helicopter.
We got to fly.
100%.
Yeah.
I want to get one either way, but I hope Ryan just wins it and it makes it, you know, the process of buying it just
Little cheaper?
non-existent. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I
It'd be
think
pretty
that'd
sweet for you.
Yeah, you should get a
Yeah.
helicopter.
You fly
That-
around, check all the fields,
Yeah.
go to the neighbors.
Yeah. But that sounds like a lot of work, too.
Yeah, definitely.
I could just get a drone.
Yeah, Ryan, that's true. Get a drone.
I have my pilot's license, but I haven't flown in years. Like when I was in high school, I worked at the airport in Alexandria, and I got my pilot's license. But it's been quite a while since I flew.
Did you get it for farm purposes or just for fun?
No, just for fun. It's probably been 10 years since I flew anything.
It's kind of hard to make sense of getting your pilot's license just for recreational purposes because, you know, you really can't do that much with it besides for just go out and fly around unless you're going to really spend some money on getting like a plane that you can fly like across the country. and
something,
back.
yeah.
But, like,
Right.
You know, most planes that are somewhat affordable, you can't really make it that far.
Yeah, you're not going to take that to California very often.
No.
Right. It's still going to be a long haul in a small airplane.
Yeah.
But there's times where it would be handy.
Oh,
It'd be a
for
lot of
sure.
work to maintain too.
Definitely. But it'd be fun.
Yeah, I could have flown it up to Cormorant.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
no
you
kidding.
could have.
Probably could have landed in our field, maybe.
If it was like one of those bush planes, definitely. Or
Yeah.
you just get a helicopter and then you drop
The
it
bush
right in.
bush planes are cool.
Yeah.
I like those.
That would probably be more fitting for how we live around here because you can land basically on any grass field, I
Right.
feel like.
Yeah.
And then putting floats on it and landing in the lake would be awesome.
Yeah.
It really
It'd
would
just be cool. Like that's a baller move to just show up in your airplane.
Dude,
Yeah, no
it's
matter-
so sick.
No matter how cool your boat is at the sandbar, you pull up in a plane.
Yeah.
You're that guy.
Yeah.
You have a boat.
Oh, let me guess. That thing can't come out of the water either.
Probably need a pickup just to get it to your garage.
No, after hanging out with those guys though, Cleetus was like, "Yeah, dude, I just use my helicopter like an Uber. Like I just like bounce around Florida in it."
Sometimes I think about that, like him and Sparks.
Yeah.
Sparks makes a little more sense to me, but like either way, Like the time it takes to get certified to fly one of those and to do all that along with what they're already doing.
Dude,
Yeah.
Maintaining 40 Crown Vics.
I know, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, he was like, yeah, man, I just did it, for a couple months at like 5 a.m. I would wake up and just do that. He was like, yeah, why don't you just do that? Because I was like, dude, I don't have time. Like, we can't do that. Just wake up earlier. And I was like, well, then I'd have to go to bed earlier.
Yeah.
And I'd still be set back, and I don't have time to go to bed earlier. I was like, this makes no sense. What are you doing? Running on 4 hours of sleep?
It's not like it takes an afternoon.
And you better be damn sure that you're ready, like, to hop in that thing and fly it alone.
Yeah, that's
It's not like cutting corners.
it's not
It's
on
not-
everything else that we're like, you need this much time, but we're advanced. We can cut that by 25%. But that one, you're like, should probably add 25% on because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I should probably know what every button does.
Yeah.
It's not like getting your learner's permit where you just
Right,
run in
right.
and like maybe just guess through the test a couple times. And you're like, it'll be fine.
Just put C for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Get you through.
That was me. Like, I've gotten my motorcycle permit like 10 times because you can just renew it every single time. And the last time I went back in, they were like, oh, you've been so long without renewing it, so you got to retake the test. And I'm like, oh, can I study? They're like, well, yeah, but you'll have to come back because we're just about to close. And I was like, I'll just hop on there and see how I do. So I hop on there. I was like redoing it, and I hadn't taken a test, since I was like 16. I got my driver's license and then motorcycle permit at the same time. And I was like, dude, I am not qualified to be on the road. Like, I don't know.
Did you pass?
I did pass.
You did?
I did pass, but you can fail like 8 of the questions or something like that. And
You're
then,
right on the bubble, huh?
dude, I if there was like 50 questions, I think I got like 43 of them to pass through. And I was like, I'm not sure if I'm qualified to be out here on a motorcycle, but give me my ticket.
It's the technicality of it. Like, you know how to drive on the street. It's not a problem because you've been driving all those years. But the technicality of the details and the questions.
Like how far to stop behind a school bus. Things like
Away.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding.
Before
Just
you hit
a
it.
reasonable distance, but like you
Yeah.
don't know the exact feet.
If you got a car coming and it's so far away, how far do you have to turn the brights off before it? You're like, I don't know, until they hit me with a flash.
Did you have to do any tests or like do any training to operate all your tractors and stuff, or was that just dad teaching you?
That's just Dad teaching me.
Yeah.
And YouTube videos. No, it's just like it. Yeah, Dad taught me when I was younger, and then as it evolves, every time you get another machine, I mean, you just pick it up from there. It's like once you know how to drive a car or a truck, you know how to do it.
Well, the technology is insane in those things now. I would have thought that farming was a low tech sport
Right.
a lot of years ago, but now it's, I would say, the highest tech job that I know. Like, you have
So-
Yeah.
many
Are you even
machines
driving your combine?
You don't have to.
You just chilling?
Yeah, you can. I mean,
More time for
literally
filming.
everything can be completely automatic.
So are you still? You're obvious. I mean, you're in the combine, but what are you doing when you just letting it? You just
So you can
scrolling?
set it up for as much automation or as little as you want. Like on ours, I hit the button and it steers, and
Yep.
that's really nice because then you can watch everything else. But we can now sync our grain cart to the combine. So I hit another button, where you're dumping on the go. So we're harvesting, it's steering itself, and then it controls the grain cart tractor also. That way, if you're going around a little bit of a corner or a hill or whatever, the cart will speed up and slow down with the combine, or turn left, turn right. Like if Onyx over there is in the grain cart, he gets within a certain distance and our two computers will sync to each other. And I hit the button saying, hey, I want control of it. And then he lets go, I let go, and it just does it. Like Deere now has fully automated tractors that are like quite a ways into testing. They've had them for a few years.
So does he have to be in the grain cart to do it? Like,
He still does.
Okay.
Yeah. They're very close, though. I don't know that he really would have to, but the tractors, it knows if you're not in the seat,
Knows if
it's not going
someone's
to
there.
go.
You could just put like a brick or something.
yeah, a couple sandbags on it.
I think you could.
Yeah. So you're strictly John Deere for the most part, right? Or
For the
no?
most part, yeah.
Yeah. Because it
and we
seems like
haven't
that's
always
all
been that way.
that's all I see you in. So I just kind of assumed you're just a John Deere guy.
Yeah.
Do you have is there other manufacturers, or have they ever hit you up,
Try to get you
wanted
to
to work
switch?
with you, or do you
Yeah.
not want to say anything? I don't know.
No, there's multiple manufacturers that I have worked with. I'm pretty stuck on Deere right now,
Really?
but we did have we had a Case quad track out there 2 or 3 years ago. We had an AGCO Challenger out there, they're not supposed to be called cats anymore. But when you say cat, like the old Caterpillar tractors, we had a new version of one of those. We've had different stuff out there and different companies approach me. The whole John Deere thing you know, when I was younger, I kind of grew up with everything except John Deere. And then it was like just little by little, we got one piece and then another piece and then another piece. And then some of the dealerships changed hands and stuff, and just the service and everything we were getting through our local John Deere dealer was so good that we've just...
Makes sense.
Yeah, we've just gone that route because it's so important now when you have a breakdown in the fall. If it's something that we can't tackle, somebody's got to get there.
Yeah.
You know, because otherwise it shuts the entire operation down. If one thing is broke, everything stops.
Yeah.
So it's important to get that fixed. And those guys are just, they're on it.
That's
the
good.
dealership is 8-9 miles away, and usually they have a service tech that's closer than that in the area.
I'd imagine it's getting harder and harder to work on them yourself too.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they bring up like right to repair. People think that John Deere isn't allowing us to work on our own tractors. You know, John Deere will know if you go in and mess with some stuff that you shouldn't be, but a lot of that's for good reason.
Yeah.
You know, you can screw a lot up. There's miles and miles of electrical wire in those things. You know, I'm not going to go in and mess with the computer that controls the grain cart from the combine, right? I don't want to touch that anyway. So I think it's a lot of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy just how much farming has evolved in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, like I remember, so my mom's side of the family, they were farmers, and like they were always working on stuff, you know, themselves. Granted, you know, they were much older tractors, but seems like nowadays, like you're saying, it just would be impossible.
Yeah, there's still a lot of farmers that do. A lot of guys will do everything themselves, whether it's a newer tractor or an older one. I mean, it runs the full spectrum from guys that insist on doing everything themselves to guys that, you know, don't do anything themselves.
Yeah. So like when you get hit up to do like a deal with, say, Case comes to you or another brand and they want to work with you, like what's that look like? Like obviously it's different every time, but
yeah,
because I mean these tractors are so expensive.
So for a long time, what it looked like was, you know, what do you got? What do you want to do? What's the situation? What product? What tractor, machine, or whatever? What do you want to highlight? And then if they had something that we could make good use of, like the Case Quad Trek, or we had a couple different John Deere combines out the last few years. It's like, yeah, I can make good use of that, and we'll park our tractor, our combine, or whatever, and use what they're giving us.
Right.
But it always comes with more difficulty than one would think, right? Because you can't just hook something different up to what you're doing and expect it to work the same. So a lot of times there's different programming and just settings and figuring it out. It always sets you back a couple of days also. And then the hardest part was it's so expensive to run those big machines. It's like John Deere's combine. They brought me an X9 combine, which at the time was you couldn't buy one yet. And they brought me, they call it a limited production build. So it was past prototype, but it wasn't into where you could really get one yet. And they brought me one out, but they're like, you can only run it for 40 hours.
Oh.
You're like, okay.
So you're basically just testing it for them, or like
exactly,
kind of hyping it up, obviously, which is what they want.
Yeah.
They want more eyes on their product.
So it was good for me because it's good content because no one had seen one before. It was all the rage at the time, right? And it does save us hours on our machines. But at the same time, it probably set our harvest back 20 hours by dealing with this new machine and having to figure things out. And like when it's that new, you're doing a lot of communicating back and forth because they want to make sure everything's going right and everything's set right.
So what comes first then in a situation like that? Making the YouTube video or harvesting the beans?
It's a balance point. It really is. I mean, honestly, I'm going to give you the farmer answer and say it kind of depends on the weather.
Okay.
Like, do we have time? Is the weather good? Are we just starting out? Then probably the YouTube stuff.
Okay.
Just, hey, we got this awesome opportunity to have some different content. We should probably try to be patient and work with this and do it this way. If the weather's getting shitty, like it does most falls,
all the
maybe
time
not
here.
this fall. If it's going to snow on the beans, we got to get them out.
So it comes down. So it sounds like the answer comes down. The farming comes first.
Yeah, ultimately.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, you got a lot
Nice.
riding on it.
Yeah.
What I'm also overreaching on this question, but like when it comes down to like what's making the most revenue, is it the YouTube channel now, or is it because you say like now you're a YouTuber that is forced to farm, which that made me think about that question.
It's the YouTube.
The YouTube
Yeah.
is beating
yeah.
out the farming.
Yeah.
Man, that is insane to think about.
It is. It's pretty crazy, but it's given me a huge opportunity to be able to take that income from YouTube and reinvest it into the farm. It's hard now. Farms have gotten to the point where if you're, farming a couple thousand acres, you don't have to be huge, but even a couple thousand acres takes a lot of equipment. That's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's tough to figure out how you even get started in that. Mm-hmm. Dad or grandpa, whoever has built this place up to be a big farm, good sized farm, successful farm, but now how do they get fairly paid, for all the work they've done their whole life by somebody that's just coming in and
it's true.
Can't figure out how to afford that. Mm-hmm. So it's been an awesome opportunity for us to be able to use the income to do something.
It's just amazing, especially nowadays, like how much you have at your fingertips, as far as opportunity goes. So like, and it could go with anything, but I mean, you're definitely making the most out of just
every day and
every situation, especially yours.
If I wanted to become a farmer, say no one in my family had done it, I'm going to be the first generation. How would I start, one? And two, how much money do you think it would take to invest where it'd be like worth doing? And,
just to make a living off of it.
but,
Reasonable
like
living.
Not even like super profitable, but like I can like pay the bills at the end of the day.
Yeah, there was a YouTuber, Grant Hilbert. He's from out of Iowa. So that was a good one to bring up there, Onyx. So Grant didn't farm. And he started a YouTube channel where he played Farming Simulator, like a gaming channel.
Okay.
And it just exploded. I mean, he was at a million subscribers years ago.
And he was just doing virtual farming, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then he moved into real farming?
He took the income from that. I don't want to speak for him.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he put a bunch of it in farming. He put a bunch of it in Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
And he got out at the right time. And he's like, you know what? I'm going real-time farming. Started a new YouTube channel. Bought property, bought the machinery, like tore down some trees, put in drain tile, cleaned up the land, and he's farming now.
Good for him.
No way.
Yeah. Did you tell him it was way easier to be an online farmer instead of
Yeah. Why would you do that?
Yeah. It had to be way easier to stare at the TV, didn't it?
Yeah.
I've heard stories. I can't remember the NASCAR racer, but like he started out doing just like the eSIM racing,
or like in Gran Turismo.
And also in Gran Turismo they have it, which is based on a true story, but like kids are super into their game, but like the video game is so good now that like they learn how to actually drive.
Yeah.
And then they go into real racing and can do good.
Right. So we have a racing simulator at our house, and Onyx runs the crap out of it.
Do you?
Can I come over and try it?
We want to get
Ryan and Ben really want one.
It's pretty legit.
OneSkin is here to help you simplify your skincare regimen. Founded by 4 PhD scientists dedicated to skin longevity, OneSkin proves that you don't need a complicated routine to achieve better skin. Their topical supplements make it easy to help your skin stay younger and healthier without all the extra steps. For a limited time, our listeners will get an exclusive 15% off their first OneSkin purchase using the code WIDEOPEN when you check out at oneskin.co. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Taking care of your skin isn't at the top of the list for a lot of guys, and I'm not saying it needs to be for everybody, but guys, if you're going to do it right, and that's why I use OneSkin. It works at the molecular level and actually makes our skin look and feel younger by treating the biology of your skin to make it look healthier, not just the surface. OneSkin is more than skincare. It's about skin longevity, targeting the root cause of aging to help you look and feel your best at every age. Get started today with 15% off using code WIDEOPEN at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code WIDEOPEN. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about us. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. It's time to expect more from your skincare routine. Invest in the health of your skin with OneSkin.
It's pretty cool. No, it doesn't move.
It's got the full screen and all
Yeah,
that.
it's got like the big curved screen in front of you.
That's sick.
So
It's
cool.
Yeah, the wheels got all the feedback and stuff. I really like the game, but for me, as somebody that has driven real car for so long, it's so difficult for me because there's no G-forces.
You don't have like that feeling in your
Yeah.
in the seat of being in the seat. Yeah.
So it's really difficult for me. I'm all over the place. If I sit down and practice on it for 15 or 20 minutes, then I can run a race. But it's like every time I do that, I have to do the practice again. Yeah. I can't just jump on it and go.
I saw they make a kit that the seatbelt, like when you're turning, it pulls the seatbelt so it simulates like you moving in your seat. and
I
tightening
hadn't
up.
seen that yet.
I'm sure it's wicked expensive. It's
I'm sure it
probably cheaper to go out and buy a
You
field
should just
car.
go
and
buy a
drive
car.
that.
Yeah, just go
Right.
buy a car and go rip it around, Ryan. That'll get your practice in.
You could with some of these simulators. You know, like I think it was Roman got one recently, and I'm sure it's a $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 setup.
God, it's nuts,
Yeah,
man.
that is crazy. I wonder how much of effect like the game Call of Duty has had on people enlisting in the Army.
I don't think so, man.
You don't
I
think so?
agree. Yeah,
If-
I don't think so.
Mike, you
The
think
other
it's
way?
the opposite?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be taken away.
I don't know,
Like
but
the-
it's like kids that never had the opportunity of like shooting a gun or something like that. You know, growing up on a farm, it's pretty standard practice to go out and shoot.
Like pretty soon the Marines will just be a bunch of overweight, sweaty.
Eating
like
Hot
Mountain
Pockets.
Dews.
Yeah,
They're
maybe
fine.
not.
I don't think they'd make it, man. Our buddy Mike tried going into the National Guard. They actually turned him around. They wouldn't take him.
Why?
I don't know. That's what we said too. It's like they want everybody, but they didn't want him.
They looked
funny.
at him up and down, and yeah,
They just kind of like
We
put
don't
him
trust
off.
this guy.
yeah.
So you took him on.
Yeah,
exactly.
So okay, I guess we kind of got sidetracked though. But like, how much do you think it would cost to get into farming?
All right. So in order to answer the question, I need to know what's your goal? Do you want your farm to look like the one that I'm on right now? You want it to look like our farm? Or do you want to just figure out how to have something that's profitable?
You want to make $100,000 a year? How about that?
Yeah. Okay. Let's just say buy it outright in cash, because that's nobody does that when you can go to a bank and get a loan. But let's just say hard cost of buying it outright in cash. How much would I have to buy?
I don't know how to even answer that, because you could go, there's times when our farm will lose more than that in a year. Like probably this year in 24. I mean, things are not looking good right now. Prices are way down for commodity prices, but what we're paying for stuff is still way up to where it's been the last couple of years. We're probably going to lose a good amount of money. Wow. But then there's years where you make a good amount of money. It's so up and down. There's no consistency to it. Mm-hmm. I would say there are some farms out there that probably have, 10 or 20 acres and a few animals that have figured out a way to creatively market direct to consumer that are probably making at least that.
Wow.
I'm not saying a ton of them, but there's got to be some. If
Yeah.
you think of some of the direct to consumer guys that really have a niche figured out, you can get creative right now, and you don't have to have $10 million invested. But if you want to have 5,000 acres and a bunch of new equipment, yeah, you're talking a lot of money.
So you can make it with minimal amount of acres, basically.
Well,
You
if you're
can,
doing
yeah. You
like
just might have to
wow,
get
though, right?
creative. You can't have 100 acres of corn and soybeans like I do and make money right now. Mm-hmm. But you could come up with a different way, maybe to actually grow some kind of vegetables or do something unique with it.
Interesting.
Which is harder for me because I got 2,500 acres I got to manage. I can't spend most of my time on 40 acres that goes direct to consumer. Right.
Right.
Yep.
It's a whole different scale. I mean, it's not even the same ball game.
Yeah.
So what happens when you go backwards on a year? Like, does insurance come in then, or are you literally like, what?
Yes and no. Crop insurance people talk like crop insurance guarantees an income. No.
Yeah, that
Rarely
wouldn't make
does.
sense.
Once in a while it will, depending on the year, but it's rare. But crop insurance will kick in and help you depending on why the year is bad, because it works off of the yield and the price. If your yield is good and the price is way down, it just is what it is. Crop insurance is there to help you, but ultimately you have to be set up so you can eat that.
What happens? I mean, like if you're a family that's farming and you don't have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, why would anybody farm without a YouTube channel? Yeah, definitely.
God.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
gotta be extremely high risk.
Yeah.
it is.
For
Yeah,
things
it's
that are completely out of your control.
it's way more high risk than a lot of people want to believe, because people want to believe that subsidies and crop insurance
Will bail
just
you
make
out.
the farmers rich all the time.
Yeah.
That's not true. I mean, there are times that is definitely a huge help, but it's not like a lot of people
Right.
seem to believe.
It'd basically just be like, let's say like a tornado came through and took everything out, then
That'd be a different insurance, separate from crop.
okay.
So we had two springs ago, almost 2 years ago now, we had a big storm come through in the early spring, and it wiped out our shed that had most of our machinery in it. Luckily, most of the machinery was mostly okay. It was like everything had some damage, but nothing was totaled. The building was,
Gone.
spread 5 miles from our house to the highway.
Wow.
We lost a grain bin. We had a lot of damage. Every roof on the farm got replaced last summer.
I think I
'cause there was
remember
just
that
damage.
video. Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah. silver lining, right?
Yeah, I think you were the one saying silver lining or something.
Yeah. But insurance kicked in to help us replace the shed, fix the machinery, that kind of thing. Same as it would if you're in a car accident.
Yeah.
And we didn't have crop in the field yet. But if you had crop in the field, it would all come down to what you can harvest. You have to go out there and harvest what you can. And you have to be able to prove to them that you did that before crop insurance is going to really kick in. There are times where the crop is in such bad shape, they walk out there and they're just like, yeah, you can't. There's no point in trying to harvest this.
Save the gas, save the fuel.
Speaking of that, I have one more money question. Or maybe just gallons. How many gallons of diesel fuel do you burn we'll do a fall harvest?
In an entire harvest? Oh, man.
He doesn't even want to know that.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to think about that.
I really don't.
At least 11?
Gallons?
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah.
At least. So, yeah, you are correct in your statement. I was going to do some math there. The combine is close to empty on most days. So we're going to say like 270 gallons there. Then we're running a grain cart. That doesn't burn near as much. There's maybe 100 gallons that goes into that. Then we've got somebody running tillage, at least one tractor running tillage every day. He's burning 300 gallons. I'm going to say it's 600 to 700 gallons a day. When everything's moving right and you're putting in long days.
A full day.
Yeah.
Wow.
God dang.
That's heavy. That is heavy.
It sucks.
Yeah.
There's so many other little things too, like semis and stuff.
Yeah, there's semis running, and I'm sure
You're ripping around on the razor.
Yeah.
Burning 10, 20 gallons there,
running
tires too.
That takes something.
You got to be so used to it at this point, but when you categorize all the money going out just from overhead and expenses, it's got to just make you sick.
It's just big dollars, right? It's like the margin can be the same as any other business, but the dollars are moving. There's businesses out there that are, they probably they'll spend $1 billion a year and they make $200,000. Just it's just different.
I just can't imagine, so many people that aren't third, fourth, fifth generation farmers that just come through and have a tough season, and you file bankruptcy on your farm. I can imagine that's more common than not.
Yeah, it does happen. I haven't seen a whole lot of it in the last 25 years, 30 years. In the 80s, it was crazy common. I mean, we lost half the farmers in the 80s because it was so bad there for several years. And it was that same thing. Ultimately, year after year after year, they were losing more and more money till, it's like, it sounds cliche and old school, but the bank literally said, we're done. We can't.
Really?
Wow.
You have no more collateral. You are leveraged way beyond what you need to be or what you should be. You have too much debt. We are not going to borrow you the money to farm again this year.
That's the saying, betting the farm. You got to sell the farm.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, unfortunately for a lot of people, especially back then, that was real.
So are like the small farmers being kind of, drowned out by like the big farms now? Or is that not a thing?
I think in some ways, yeah, that is a thing. In the 80s, when we lost all those farmers, the acres are still being farmed. I mean, the livestock is still being produced, right? You just have half the amount of farmers doing it. So it's unfortunate reality of most industries, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
How often does farmland go up that you can lease? You got to know the right people of like, hey, I'm going to either pass it down or get out of the game, and there's always going to be someone next in line.
Yeah, there's always somebody waiting around here. You can go out to like Montana and stuff, and I know there's guys out there in certain areas where if you want to farm more land, you can just go find it and get it. It's more common if you're one of the guys that's willing to go out and pay stupid money to be able to lease it or buy it, and obviously that happens.
You got to be losing money, but you're hoping that they fold,
or you're hoping you can just hang on to it long term.
You'd be able to use it,
which rarely happens because guys that are doing that, you're dealing with a guy on each side that's just going after every dollar, right? So it's rare. If I go take some land from somebody because I'm willing to pay more than I can possibly make on it, it's pretty rare that the guy that owns that land isn't just going to give it to the next guy that gives him $10 an acre more than me.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense.
That's usually the way it works. Farming is still a little bit old school that way, where you have to have and build the good relationships for long term. At least that's my theory anyway.
The loyalty aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some guys don't operate that way,
Respectable,
but
For sure.
So you don't mess with livestock, huh?
no, we haven't for quite a while. We had cattle and hogs when I was a lot younger. I think it was kind of the 80s that burned him out on it. He just said, I got enough risk in all this. It's enough work the way it is. He got out of him.
Whenever we're getting a little low on content ideas, sometimes I'm like, it'd be kind of fun to like have a little like farm, get some pigs, some goats, some cattle, maybe some horses. Ken will take care of them. He'll feed them, make sure. Like I could see Ken at 5 a.m. getting like, milking some cows, slopping the pigs.
It'd be great.
I think it'd be great. Maybe like a llama, some stuff like that.
Mini horse.
But
I would think a good friend would step up and support you like that. But
Yeah,
there he
exactly.
sits.
well,
not
yeah,
feeding
no,
you.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, he'd be in on it. It'd be our farm. Ken's just doing the farming of it,
he gets
and
the
like
pleasure of getting
we'll
to wake
film
up
and
early.
all that. It's just adding a little bit more to his plate. And but yeah, I don't know. I've had that idea multiple times, but then I go, it's quite the commitment.
Yeah, because then all those times where you're traveling,
It's like,
and
what are
you're
we
doing
gonna do?
The stuff you need to do, poor Ken can't go with.
I know. It's like getting.
But he just loves it. He has such a passion for
Yeah.
it.
He does.
Yeah.
How would
Loves
he
just taking
balance
care
that
of people.
between the gay club and the vape therapy?
Oh man, you saw that, did you?
Not only did I see it, but my GPS said it.
It's
Like on
God
the way,
damn it.
on
So
the way here.
There's a funny story on that. We didn't. So for those of you listening, our shop on basically the maps, so Google Maps or Apple Maps, whatever it is, it's labeled Big Ken's Vape Therapy and Gay Strip Club. Is it?
Gay club
Male,
and vape
male
therapy.
strip club. I
and
think
male
must have
strip
changed
club
it.
or something
Yeah.
like that, which we did not set. And although Ken maybe thinks we did not set it.
Still up for debate.
Yeah,
So,
Ken is
like,
convinced that it was
why
us.
would I? That's not
I
even
don't want
that
our
funny,
shopping
dude.
like that. I
No.
texted him. I was like, "This is where it is. It'll take you here. Park around back. You don't want people seeing your truck here this early in the afternoon."
Yeah, no, but so I don't know, like just some kids basically managed to like be able to do that, and like they've changed the name multiple times. Like one time it was like Small CJ's Dope and Gun Shop. I'm like, God damn, like
It's always
the sheriffs are
something
gonna be driving by
moderately
here
vulgar.
thinking like, that one wasn't even funny. There was one where it was way
No,
funnier.
the foot massage.
The best one they did, which they should have left, was Big Ken's barbecue and foot massage. See, that's funny. That's funny. The other ones are just like, you're trying too hard.
They're
But
always a little vulgar.
yeah, some
As they
of
should
the
be.
locals.
You don't want to go through the work without
Right.
like, embarrassing Ken.
Well, some of the locals, I guess, just down the street at a restaurant, I overheard through the grapevine, like they were complaining about it, thinking we set that. They're like, there's kids and stuff that I'm like, we didn't do that, man. So like,
can't
it
even
all
do
it
it.
keeps
Maps
coming
will
back
allow it.
on us.
Well,
But
mine keeps showing up. No matter how many times I had it removed, it would show up, and you can tell.
so they're doing it to you too?
Oh yeah, they just pin it and then they name it.
Yeah.
But
How the
they,
hell
like,
is that
they spell
possible?
Millennial wrong and stuff. So it's, like, it's obviously not me. doing
Imagine
you
you're
got
just
it
like,
so
this
rough.
is where I live.
it. Until now, when this comes out,
Yeah.
now we'll see what they come up with.
True.
Do people show up to your house
Oh yeah,
and they just roll in? And
What do you do? How do you take it?
I got a sign now.
You do? We're thinking about getting a gate. Actually, we probably are getting a gate because we've done signs and it doesn't seem to deter. We've had a few times where it's rare or weird people, and we've had some where it's really nice. And honestly, we always are like treat them good, but
You have
we
to. Once
prefer
they're
not
here.
to. It's
When
kind
they're
of
in your yard.
It's tough. It's like
What do you
they
do?
knock on the door and I open it, and then they're like, "Hey, can we like?" It's like, what do I do now?
just
We just
walk
drove
around at your
6
place of
hours.
work?
We just drove 6 hours. Like, do you think we could? Like we were trying to buy some shirts. I'm like, yeah, sure,
We
come
ship.
on in.
Yeah.
And then we end up giving the whole tour and doing, taking pictures, whatever. Which
we don't do that.
We're done
So don't
doing
show
it
up.
though. We're done doing it because we're getting a gate.
I should show you a picture of our sign because it's a nice. It nicely says, "Turn around." Like
That's
you,
what I think.
you found it. We have a longer driveway. You guys are right on the road.
Yeah.
Our driveway is like 300 feet long, and halfway up it, I have an 8-foot sign that you can't miss. Because I didn't want to deal with the gate. I didn't want to pay for the gate. And then I didn't want to deal with it all the time.
It's going to be a pain because every time someone wants to
Comes
come
in,
that
you
doesn't
gotta
have the
open
door
it.
opener, we're going to
Yeah.
have to tell them the code or we're going to have to get them.
So
but
what's
it's part
going to
of
happen is you just leave it open all
and
the
then
time.
it's
Yeah,
useless.
it's useless.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but if you leave it open, then people are dumb enough to drive through a gate.
But they'll go, the gate was open, so we figured it was okay.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit more than just like a little sign.
It'll look cool. Like we'll make it look nice. Like it'll have like maybe like a logo in the middle, like as if it's a mansion, but it's just a steel building. You know?
Big
barn.
fancy wrought iron, just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a Beverly Hills gate.
Yeah.
Right?
with a
gold on
butler
it.
maybe that stands there.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Be
Ken.
nice.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just
or
have Ken standing there.
He can do that.
Oh
You
my
have
God,
a
this guy's gonna have a
visitor's pass.
busy ass schedule between doing all the merch, being the podcast researcher, and then taking care of all of our farm animals.
Yeah.
What does your sign say? Just says frig off.
Something. So I
Frig
admit we kind of copied Cleetus's sign that he had posted at the Freedom Factory, and it says like it's got the Millennial Farmer logo that I have, and it's something along the lines of this is a busy working farm and our private home. We can't allow unannounced visitors or strangers or whatever it says, and then it says like basically thank you for your understanding,
Yeah.
meaning we hope you understand this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's literally a stop sign on the sign. And then I just put my little tagline at the bottom, like, hey, keep it between the rows.
Yeah.
And every day in the summer, you can see marks where somebody comes halfway up the driveway.
Turns
and then they
around.
like awkwardly back down when
up,
they get to
yeah.
the sign.
So it's working, that means.
It does. It definitely
Or
works.
they go on the field approach, or like you'll be mowing the lawn in the summer and there's people just cruising by.
I get a lot of that. If I mow the driveway and I end up down at the road, it's almost like every time somebody's waiting. Like they're a half mile up the road and they see the mower coming and they hurry up and they're just like, oh, hey, wow, I was just driving
We're
by.
surprised
yeah.
to see you in your driveway.
At my house.
Yeah.
Do you mow here often?
Yeah. And I don't want to say like anywhere other than the shop. I love meeting people, saying what's up, shaking hands, taking pictures. I'll talk with you for 20, 30 minutes. But at the shop, it's just an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
It's an
There's always
invasion of
something going on.
privacy, and it, like for me,
It slows down when you're trying
it
to work.
slows you down, so it interrupts the whole day. Like you
Yeah.
can't give a 1 hour tour to every person
Yeah.
that wants.
Yep.
But you feel like an asshole if you don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That Minnesota
it's tough.
nice in us.
It's a really weird, privileged thing to complain about.
It
Isn't it?
is. It is.
So with YouTube and filming your daily process, I feel like there's a lot of things that people are always critiquing us on our way of doing something. They go, no, you should have put the Harley snow bike together like that. But you have something that a lot of people do, and they're stuck in their ways when they do it. You have a lot of people that when you do something, they're like, oh, I would have never done it that way.
Yeah,
I would have
telling
done
you
it
you're
like
doing
this.
it wrong.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Or more so because I show everything. So if like something mechanical happens and it takes me a while to figure it out, like I document that.
Yeah.
I'm not the most mechanical guy in the world, but like I can find my way around something. I'll figure it out and I show it on camera. And if I say something wrong or I call it the wrong thing or it takes me too long, just so full of G.I. Joes
I
in the
know. We
comments.
got Albert Einstein in the
Just
comments here.
badasses.
Why is that, you think?
I don't know.
It makes people feel smarter.
It makes them feel better about themselves, acting like belittling you, trying to make you feel not as smart as them.
Yeah.
You know, it just like boosts them up.
Because they're
gets
mad
them
'cause
off.
a million people watched you do something
Yeah.
cool, so they're mad about it. So they got it.
Yeah.
They don't know it, But I think it took me a while to figure it out. But it's like it's an internal, like it's a problem with them.
Yeah.
It's their own
with you.
security,
Yeah.
right? They're insecure.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody looks at someone that's doing something else, and if you feel good about yourself, like you don't need to tear them down.
Yeah.
That's a really weird, like grandfatherly way of saying that, but it's true.
It's true.
So do you have haters then? Like any haters?
Yeah,
Really?
and
Even
they're all
if-
other farmers.
Okay, that makes sense.
There are other farmers
I can see it.
that
They're
hate
jealous.
the shit out of me.
Interesting.
Like last week, I found it a pretty funny comment on TikTok. I was explaining something about multi-generational farms, and I answered it super nicely. And I talked about like how lucky I am and how thankful I am to be a multi-generational farmer because it's not everybody can jump in and start farming the way I do. So I understand the opportunities that I've had, and I was acknowledging that. And this dude's comment was, even though I completely despise you, that was a pretty good answer.
Well, you gotta get like daddy's money like comments
Oh,
too, right?
all
Being
the time.
multi-generational. It's like,
God, that's
well,
the
no
worst.
shit. I'm not gonna kill my dad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and all the time. And I always, to this point, I have not inherited anything more than the opportunity to do it. I have zero ground that I've inherited. I have inherited zero machinery. It's just the opportunity to be able to do it.
Makes sense.
But people, it's like people just think, like one day my dad was 40 years old and was like, here you go.
Yeah.
Here's
fun.
the farm.
Yeah.
Now
Make
you
videos
got
about it.
you got a great comeback though, because you're like, what do you mean? Like I started my own channel and everything. I got my own business going on.
But I'll get, you guys probably get it too. I get the comments from the guys, girls, whoever, like, Like, oh, you have a hobby of making videos about that? Yeah, it's a cute little hobby. Yeah.
We don't necessarily get that, I guess, but
Not
I could see
anymore.
how, as like the farmer maybe community, they're a little bit more old school.
Yeah.
Or just,
I'll get it
men
one
trying
way
to
or the
be
other.
men.
Hey, people got to understand it now, but
I
you know,
think so.
when you first started, I'm sure it was wild.
Oh,
because
that's-
for us, we were college students, and
Right.
I guess I was in high school, but people still thought it was such a waste of time.
Oh, yeah.
And like we had nothing else going. It's like, what do you mean wasted time? It's either we're doing this, building this business or this brand,
Yeah.
or we're out at parties, like getting drunk. Like, what do you mean a waste of time?
Right.
But for you, I guess it was probably like, why would you waste your time with that little video thing when
Yeah.
you could be farming?
Set the camera down, you millennial. That's all you ever care about is your phone and the camera and showing off to people. Like, I bought this tractor because you watched this video.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess you can call me an asshole if you want.
The sellout comments are funny.
Sell out.
Sell out?
Oh, yeah.
What are you selling out on?
Well, just anything that's got a sponsored ad to it.
Oh, right.
Oh.
You guys got to get that too.
We used to, but not anymore.
I think it's a more socially acceptable part of the space now.
I mean, you got to pay the bills, and when you're freaking spending 30, 40 grand on a YouTube video, you got to freaking, something's got to, you got to get some income. So,
Believe it or not, this ain't cheap.
no, this is not cheap.
Do they want the videos or not?
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
how it works.
It's a part of it. You want something crazy, we gotta fund it somehow. But does your YouTube channel have a team around it? I know you film with like you and your family.
Who's editing? Who's doing?
Yeah.
So my wife does 90% of the editing on the videos
Okay.
for the farm.
Nice.
As far as that goes, we don't.
Nice.
We have a lady now. We hired a lady like 6 months ago to be a virtual assistant. So she'll go through and clean up our emails.
Oh.
Because I'm horrible at answering emails and I just hate it so much. And there's so
like
many.
picking out the brand deals and
Yeah,
stuff.
like what- Leave the ones in there that I actually need to pay attention to and just get rid of the rest.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Nice.
I just don't have time to. I'd be emailing all day, every day, and I'm not going to do that. So most of them get ignored. But she'll go through and clean stuff up. But as far as the editing goes, there's nobody, I don't think, that has ever edited another farm video besides my wife or I. So it's just the two of us, which I also know sometimes limits us a little bit. We could probably do some bigger, better, cool stuff, I guess. But I like it the way it is. I
Having
don't want
the
it to
control
spiral
over it.
too far out of control
Yeah.
and have something
Then it's
that's
not what
even
it is.
more difficult to manage.
You got to do all the titles though, right?
We argue about that sometimes.
Really?
Because the titles have just such your
Yeah, your
personality
taste
in
in
it.
it.
I think her trick is when my wife titles it, I think her trick is like as she's editing, she'll find a line or something from it and like write it down as she's editing. And I think that's the trick.
Oh, okay.
So like it is something that probably came from me.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense because it's your voice, and I was like, every title I read, I can read it in your
read it in my voice.
Tone.
Yeah.
Some of them too, I'll adjust them a little bit. Like after it posts, I'll look and I'm like, that's got to be tweaked a little bit.
You got to add a
like,
little
that
bit more
needs to-
dad humor to this.
Yeah,
a little bit
exactly.
more of a Zach twist.
Yeah, but sometimes we'll debate about that, what the title and thumbnail should be on certain videos.
That's funny, man. You got such a great thing going though, because you don't really have to think too hard. Your wife is just pulling the title out of what you said in the video,
Yeah.
and then
Right.
it's a screen grab or a picture of it. It's not all set up and staged and everything like
Yeah.
that.
If we do the setup staged thumbnail, which we do once in a while, it's completely as sarcasm. Like, let's make this look as dumb as possible.
Meme the CBoys on this one.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
You were saying, you don't have as much preparation or you're not like building out these projects and doing these crazy things for the video. You're kind of just going about living your daily life. But I think that's the beauty of it, and that's why people enjoy it. It's real. Nowadays, like there's just so much fake everything. Everything's just set up, and people can see through that. So I think when you're just being original, you're being yourself, people just tend to head towards that.
Gravitate towards it.
I think you're right. And I think that's also part of, like we talked earlier, where you don't need super fancy equipment. I think in the same way, you don't need to edit fancy music and graphics and whatever.
Yeah.
Not for my style of videos,
Right.
not for what
it is
my
what it
viewers are
is,
used to
and
seeing.
that's what is great about it.
Yeah, your
So-
wife understands. She throws in a couple jokes. Like she has good timing on your jokes and stuff like that, makes it funny to watch, but also somehow makes it really easy to watch someone doing work. Like I watched you work for 20 minutes and I go, nice. That was fun. Like
Ryan gets done and goes, well, that was productive.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, what a good day's work. You know,
I did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
I worked so hard today, but like all you did was shovel out a grain bin, which is just not fun at all.
It sucks.
It's a
I
horrible
hate
job.
shoveling out bins. Yeah.
And I watched it and went, that was fun. I like that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
For your help.
Yeah, I just, anything I can do to help out.
I had an article. I don't remember what magazine it was. It was a bigger one a couple of years ago that I was surprised contacted me. But we did an article. You do the interview, and they put it together. And I was on vacation when it came out, and they emailed me the link, so I went to check it out. And I remember I was sitting on the beach at Mexico, and it was like it compared me to Bob Ross. Like it called me the Bob Ross of agriculture.
Oh, wow.
awesome.
What an interesting comparison.
Yeah, that's really
How'd you take it? Compliment?
Yeah, I mean,
confusion.
Confusion.
Hey, honey, what do you think of Bob Ross? Oh, that guy, that cocksucker. You're like, yeah.
I've never heard anyone call Bob Ross a cocksucker.
Yeah, dude. That's not quite how I describe him, but
That cocksucker. That's a T-shirt idea right there.
It's Bob Ross's face.
with that underneath.
That cocksucker.
People have been like, I've never thought of that, but now that you say that, he is, isn't he?
I guess it apparently had something to do with the fact that, like you were saying, it's like oddly satisfying or relaxing to watch the video.
Yeah.
Like from beginning to end, Bob starts with a canvas and makes a painting. And like I start farming in the morning and you go through the whole day till the day's over. So it was some kind of an analogy to that.
Interesting.
I'm much more used to being called the Kardashian of farming.
Oh,
Really?
yeah, that fits.
I'm very thankful to my wife for coming up with that one.
You like that?
the Kardashian.
No, you
I
don't
don't.
like that.
No.
Well, I know
that's right.
you pulled up in like a big G-Wagon, and there was a big fleet Escalade.
the pink one,
It
yeah.
followed you.
He's got his security with him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flew
there's
into
dudes
Detroit
standing out
Lakes.
front.
Yeah. You flew the plane, the big private jet just down the way, but obviously you had to ride in a car. That was really tough. So
That was difficult.
yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't the type of jet that I wanted to be in today.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's tough. Actually, every time I've been called that, which is not very many times, but every time I am, I'll share it and I tag the Kardashians in it, like as many as I can find.
Just hoping you can get them to come on out.
Yeah, they don't. I want Kim Kardashian to come out and drive a combine.
Dude,
That would
Kim,
be
if
that'd
you're
be
listening,
a
call me.
banger
can
video.
we come and do that?
That'd be a hit.
I think like Cboys Day on the Farm would be a great bit for us.
Well, you called Bob Ross a cocksucker.
Yeah, dude. Come on.
Not
Yes, you guys are invited out.
I think that'd be great. We want to do a video series where we go around and do like dirty jobs, Cboys edition. We'll go to like a pig farm, not quite as dirty as a pig farm, but like get in, in the mud or something.
Yeah. Well,
Like if you guys get something stuck, come out for that.
we can come up with ideas.
I think that'd be cool.
Like during harvest, you could be ripping around in the razor or something, and
Maybe put like Evan in the combine, see how long till he breaks it.
yeah,
10 minutes.
I guess there's be a silver lining.
Dude,
There's
I'm
content
kidding.
for everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's actually kind of a busy time for me. I would like to get it done.
You have like a horse or something. Evan's riding the horse dies. You're like,
Oh
what
my
the frick,
gosh.
dude? Like, how do
Now
you
we need an
manage
old
to
horse.
do this to everything?
That's actually
Steal my horse.
Everything. He's like, what? You put me on an old horse? What'd you expect? What'd you expect?
Evan, you cocksucker.
That's how it'd go. Gavin's laughing, our mechanic right now.
He knows.
He's kidding.
Yeah, we'd
You'd
have to have
him
Gavin
fix
on
the horse?
standby.
Yeah, then Gavin. Yeah.
And we're gonna need a full-on doctor and mechanic. Yeah, I gotta go to vet school. Yeah, Gavin becomes a vet. So as a farmer, they always say daylight savings was for the farmers. As a farmer,
See,
What do
now
you-
you're hitting me with a question that I don't have an answer to. I already know.
you
I know
have
that I don't have an
You don't
answer.
have an opinion on daylight savings,
No, I think it had to do with when farmers had to get up early,
right?
which now there's farmers mad at me that are listening that are like, well, I still, yeah,
I
I
still
know.
get up early.
There's a lot of really hardworking farmers that still get up really early. But it had something to do with that. But I don't care. It just messes with me. I don't like it when it happens.
I don't know if anyone does.
Yeah, it does.
Probably
anybody?
not.
Wasn't there somebody who was trying to pass a bill that was like
Yeah,
daylight savings?
it almost made it the
This is
whole
a
way,
Ken
and then
question.
someone shut it
Seems
down.
like
at
it comes
the end.
up every year that they always talk about. They're
Look-
going to talk about it in the next 2 weeks because daylight savings time is in 2 weeks.
Look it up. I think they shut it down in like the House of Representatives or some ridiculous stage. Anyway,
So in the summer, I'm trying to think which way would move. In the summer, it moves ahead, so it gets lighter an hour earlier in the morning. Is that right? I hope if it goes, like, can we stay on that time? Because I don't want it to be light out until midnight in July.
That could be dangerous.
Yeah, really, yeah.
I'm going to bed at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
We're out running around all night.
Sun's up.
If you guys are like me, when it's light out until 10:30 at night, it's like
You
keep
use
doing
all of it.
something.
You use all of it, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
But then in January,
When it's dark at
it's
4.
dark out at 4:30. You're like, well, day's over.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really is. It's actually, you know, it kind of works out, I guess, in that aspect. But at 4:30, when it gets dark, it just puts me in a different state of mind of like, man, this is kind of depressing.
It's horrible.
It has something to do with the fact that it's here, Minnesota, winter, cold.
Cold.
This year we don't even have snow, so everything is just brown.
You're
You know,
like, well,
it's like seasonal depression.
it's dark out. I
People
can't
call it,
work on
but-
anything. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, the lights in the
There's
barn
lights
still
in the
work.
barn.
Yeah, the lights still work.
God, now I got to go home and drink a beer.
Yeah. I'll probably have another one after that.
Yeah.
God,
Even Bob Ross is gone now.
nothing good to look forward to.
There's just nothing left.
They took everything from us. So I have just a honest, hardworking dairy farmer friend. He works year round. And I told him we were interviewing you, and he got really upset. And he said to tell you that the reason that you guys have 4x4 on the back of your pickup bed is because you only work 4 weeks in the spring and 4 weeks in the fall. And I wanted to give you a chance to defend yourself on that.
I mean, he's not that far off. Compared to a dairy farmer, those guys bust their asses.
Oh, damn, I thought you were going to turn this.
It's going to be you, Ken.
No, I'm not going to turn it because I just have to admit it. It's a lot more than 4 weeks in the spring and 4 in the fall, and he knows that too.
Yeah.
But compared to a dairy farmer, I mean, if he's actually the one getting up and feeding the cows and milking, and
He ain't. They got a machine.
he's not. Is it a robot?
Don't give him
They
that
got a
much
robot?
Yeah, they got robots.
Oh,
Yeah.
pretty soon he'll have a 4x4. No, that's still a ton of work.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what more to say about it. Dairy farming is tough. That's tough. And it's not like he's making hand over fist either.
Yeah. I
He
wouldn't
should
like
start a
dealing with the
YouTube channel.
smells. He should start a YouTube channel, actually.
Yeah.
I cracked up I was watching your TikTok before this, and then you had a guy who was like, you only work 6 weeks a year. And you responded, like, 6 weeks? No one should have to work that hard. God, that cracked me. You got to get some
great.
better machinery or something, man. You got to get those hours down.
You got to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one went off pretty good. At the end of it, I was like, 6 weeks every single year?
Yeah.
I love that you're good at messing with people on TikTok. It's so easy on TikTok because there's just enough people that come through that don't get the humor and stuff and really will get bent out of shape on something.
It's enjoyable. It's a different. Obviously you've seen it. I use that platform differently than I would like my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which has been fun for me because my YouTube channel, it's not like it's not me. I mean, what you see on the YouTube channel is me, but it's filtered.
Yeah.
I make it so the kids can watch it, right?
Yep.
But on TikTok, I guess when I started it, I told my wife, like, all right, if I'm going to get on TikTok and have another platform, I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, if this is the one that ends me, then so be it. I'm going to have
Those were
fun
your
with this.
rules, huh?
Huh?
Those were your rules for getting on it?
Pretty much. Like, yeah, if I'm going to spend more time on TikTok, then I get to be who I want to tell somebody off once in a while.
Yeah, you can get the like 2-beer version of you, you know?
Yeah,
Like the
right.
late night version.
Right.
I like that.
We kind of did that with the second YouTube channel, the one we put the race stuff on. We call it Between the Rows for anybody that's wondering, but we don't filter that a lot. You know, like my buddy was on there in a video. I didn't even notice it because it's just who we are. But one of my crew guys, his shirt said, "What's up, fuckers?" And he wears it all the time. And I didn't even think about it. I had so many angry people
Oh, man.
Really?
because I let him like be in the videos and walk around my kid with that shirt. And it's like, welcome to real life, man.
Or wait till those people see the Bob Ross shirt.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's gonna be
we got to
bestseller.
get that Bob Ross shirt, man. I'm going to
You're going
send
to
you
get a package in the mail and you'd be like, what's this?
There's got to be a good artist out there that could come up with a Millennial Farmer Bob Ross cocksucker shirt.
collab.
Someone get on
Millennial
it, please.
Farmer
Yeah.
X Bob Ross.
Funny enough, I
Collab.
actually looked at a Bob Ross. I was like, I want to buy a Bob Ross painting. And you can't buy them.
Like a legit?
Like
Probably
a
pretty
legit
expensive,
buy
dude.
Bob Ross. I think they've only sold like one, and it went for $14 million or something
Wow.
like that.
So
Because
who's got him?
Bob Ross Inc. owns everything Bob Ross has ever made, so you can't buy it. You can buy Bob Ross styled paintings.
So somebody owns the estate,
Bob Ross Inc.
but maybe he could. I suppose he could have had it. Like it could have said, you get the estate when I die, but you cannot sell anything.
Yeah, I don't know if he set it up or if someone who was really like, oh, I'm going to make a ton of money off of this. Because wouldn't it be kind of cool? You have a nice little Bob Ross.
That would be oddly badass.
Yeah, right.
It would be.
That's what I thought.
I'd
Happy
like
little
it.
trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That cocksucker painted it.
How many paintings do you think he has?
That's what I'm saying. Probably like 1 billion of them.
All in one like dusty storage shed.
What a shame. What's he doing? Sell those things, dude.
So the
Somebody's probably just annoyed by it. Like,
Yeah.
Bob won't let me sell these paintings. He
Well,
left them
let
all
me
to
throw
me.
these paintings away.
We got $200 billion worth of paintings I
Yeah,
can't do
dude.
anything with. Now I can't
What
even
was-
park my boat in the garage.
what did Bob Ross like? What was the channel that he'd be painting on?
PBS. His
Dude, he got
first-
that PBS money and need the painting.
They sold the first painting on his first episode, and that sold for 10 million.
When? Like that back then?
No, recently.
They sold the first one on
the
any
first
episode.
one he ever
but
made.
That was the one they only sold that one?
I
Yeah,
guess
you got to
so.
imagine the whole team is like, come on, let's just sell them.
Yeah.
You've got 14,000 of them.
Can we just sell every other?
Let's just sell one in the middle.
Like, why the first one, though?
He's painted more than double the amount of paintings that Picasso has painted. I didn't mean to take us down this Bob Ross thing, but yeah, there's
Dude, I'm going to be honest. I know like little to nothing about Bob Ross.
you're too.
We can
old-
tell you
young.
call him a cocksucker.
Yeah, dude. I can't believe you called that guy Bob Ross.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt right in the moment, and now I'm being questioned on it. I'm backing out of my statement.
27 paintings are at Minitrista's Bob Ross experience in Muncie, Indiana. So next time you're down there,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can go
Next time
visit.
I'm rolling through Muncie.
Yeah.
Is Muncie, does it show where it is? Because I don't want to sound like an idiot. Is it by Chicago?
Sure.
Chicago? Never mind. Chicago's in Illinois. I didn't want to sound like an idiot, so I said the wrong state.
It's like up over here, northeast
On the other
of
side of the-
Indianapolis. On the other, it's pretty far from Chicago.
I'm not going to go there today.
Okay.
There is a Bob Ross painting for sale for an unspecified price, but they do accept financing.
Email. Can we call him now on the show and make an offer?
Yeah, can you call him up?
Yeah, call him up.
See what it's about.
Just by email is all they offer.
Oh.
Son of a
Can
gun.
you imagine that guy sitting by the phone? I'd like to buy your Bob Ross.
I'm pretty sure there was one point you could get Joe Exotic on a podcast.
Joe Exotic.
Yeah. for
You
like
could.
15 minutes.
You just call him up and get him on a podcast?
Yeah, he's in jail.
No, it was just God, what were they called? Cameos. He was
Yeah.
on Cameo, so you could like basically like hire him out for 30 minutes.
Yeah, you could
From
hire
jail?
him.
For an hour.
Yeah, from jail.
Yeah, I don't know
guess,
how
which
the hell
you
that
could do
works. Maybe because he's like, I don't know how that would work. You'd think he'd be under some weird, strict
I
things.
didn't think you could work from jail.
He's using his 15 minutes a day to make his phone call, and he's doing like 10 cameos.
Making some
Yeah.
money.
Oh,
Making
yeah.
$2,000 a day.
Yeah.
So like when he gets out, he's going to have $1 million waiting for him.
Yeah, he will
Pretty smart,
probably.
actually.
That is-
You
not
can
bad at
book-
all.
Outed him.
You can book Joe Exotic for $249
Oh,
for 15
minutes?
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
It's actually not that bad. It's almost
Imagine
half of your price.
Yeah, that's not there.
your next video though is just 15 minutes of Joe Exotic sitting in a cell, just talking about
You too?
just talking about Carol Baskin.
Get me
Talk
out of
about
here.
farming.
Get me out of
Bob
here.
Ross.
You should do that, and you should have him sit in the tractor with you in the buddy seat. Farming with Joe Exotic.
Just like
That'd
on
actually
an
be,
iPad.
dude,
Yeah.
that would go crazy.
That
You
would
should
go
do
crazy.
that.
See, you
And
guys
see that.
are-
See, now he's doing
That-
stuff that he
that-
doesn't necessarily
yeah.
want to do. This is not on his.
You're
Then
right.
I
That's not
could
his
title
thing.
it like farming
Do
with
it.
Joe
Yeah, that's
Exotic.
that's how we think. We're like, that's a banger title right there. Like that's just gonna go viral. That's
you gotta
just
figure
then
out
you
how
go
to
down
make
the
it
rabbit hole. Yeah, yeah.
There's so many things you could do, like having Joe Exotic babysit my kids.
yeah.
You know, like you set them up. In the
You
screen.
know, Onyx and him. That'd
Yeah.
be great.
Joe Exotic flies my helicopter home from Cleetus's race.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
perfect.
It's pretty good. You might be.
You might be
right.
onto
Hey, you might
something
have
there.
a career in this.
Now Ryan just needs to win that helicopter.
If you win that helicopter, I'll pay for Joe Exotic to fly it home with you on the iPad.
That's fair.
Well, okay, so that
That's a safe
Well,
bet.
wait, no.
Hold
That's a
on,
very
no,
safe
no,
bet.
Only
Get
for
back out
15
of that.
minutes. Only for
The
15
whole way
minutes.
home.
It's about 15-hour flight.
Yeah, can you imagine every day for the next like 100 days I'm flying for 15 minutes from spot to spot?
Zach pays like $100,000 to Joe Exotic.
Yeah, he's like, I thought it was
He's
going to
like,
be a one-time
well,
thing.
this was not worth the investment.
I didn't think he could drive that well. I didn't think he'd win the race.
You and me both.
Yeah, that's gonna be electric if that does happen.
I do have faith in Ryan, though. He is the best wheelman in our group, I will say. Him and Mike are probably tossed up. Mike really gave you a run for your money in the last year, but
As long as I don't have to jump.
yeah, Ryan
gotta stay on
doesn't
the
jump.
ground. I do
Which
not
honestly,
jump.
if you jump in that race, you're in so much trouble. Like, I mean,
But think of the content.
yeah, Ryan ends up in the stands or something.
Well, hopefully
Jesus.
maybe on the other side.
Other side, yeah.
Yeah,
But-
not like on top of a bunch of people.
No, not
No,
like
you
I'm
don't
that.
do
trying to
that.
avoid that.
Well, you've got one of those Danger Rangers built, and
I
that
do.
race got pretty sketchy.
Yes.
That was the one that they actually did
Extremely.
jump.
So I built the Ranger for those who don't know. I built the Ranger planning to go to Bristol and race it in Cleetus's race almost a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was in April of 23. I built the Ranger. I got it 90% done, and then it got way too close to farming. I mean, we were going to get in the fields, and I'm like, I can't be driving to Tennessee for a stupid Ranger race.
driving
Yeah.
a Ranger around a racetrack.
And I'll be honest with you, like you guys went through my head, like who could I call that would legitimately,
We
Like
do
who-
love Ford Rangers.
yeah, who could gain from this? Who would actually
Use
who's
it.
close enough and knows how to load this thing on a trailer and go?
Who could I dump this on?
Yeah, who can get this thing out of my barn?
But then you thought of us and went, well, there's no way that thing's coming back in one piece.
Well, now it's sat there for like 10 months. So
all
if
dusty.
you guys get invited to the Ranger race, I got a good one sitting there.
All right.
All right.
It just
good to
needs a
know.
little bit of work.
So you're also a Ford Ranger enthusiast then, or was that just because of the race?
That's because that's what was required.
Oh,
You don't use Rangers.
so you're
on the
nothing like
farm?
us then.
No, I'm not an enthusiast.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we had a farm, the entire thing would just be Rangers.
Rangers.
Yeah, we'd,
Yeah, just
we'd be using them
everywhere.
to combine and
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
Everything.
But why?
They're the best. That's why. What do you mean?
Best truck ever made.
What
Dumb
did you
question.
see ours out there? Did you see it? Like, what is there any more questions?
Yeah, if you ever got any heavy loads and you need a rig that can pull it, you can use our dually converted
Yeah.
Cummins swapped.
You could
Ford
pull
Ranger.
like if you get a new combine or something,
Need to
pull
pick
it
it
home. Yeah,
See, that one,
that would go crazy.
you don't want to
too.
race that one, right?
I don't
No,
know.
this.
I don't
it's
think it would
built
make
for work,
it.
but
Yeah.
it
It's
would
a
win
It would
the
still
race.
probably
It
win
would
the race. Yeah.
It would
And then-
win.
Yeah.
Pull the racetrack home. Yeah. Load it up, tow it home.
Just take it home.
All in
Yeah.
a day's work.
No, if you guys want that Ranger,
It's
you
there.
could, yeah, use it.
You
It's
can
got the-
almost barely not even say that.
I was
halfway through it, he was like,
Use
I
it.
regret
But you need to
saying
pay
this."
for it first in full before you can even open the door.
I'm being careful about what I say because I think I promised to get Joe Exotic to fly a helicopter, and that was by accident. So
Yeah, you're driving home, your hands are sweating, you're like, oh,
What did I just do?
What did I say? What did I say in that podcast?
Can't sleep at night.
What happened?
just dreams of Joe Exotic and Bob Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah.
We'll end on that note, man. We definitely appreciate you making the trip to come down here, and we're glad that we could make this happen. And thanks for being you, and keep making great videos and keep farming, dude.
Yeah, same to you guys. Thank you for having me.
Much appreciated.
Thanks for the T-shirt idea.
Yeah, there you
You're
go.
welcome.
It's all yours.
All right, if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next
And also
podcast.
subscribe to Millennial Farmer.
Yeah,
Check
yeah.
him out on Instagram.
we
Millennial
go.
Farmer on YouTube. Go check him out, guys.
There we go.
What are the headsets for if there's no audio?
You didn't
You have audio the whole time?
No.
Shut the fuck up.
You
Yes,
kidding,
you
right?
did. Yes, you did.
I didn't.
Are you serious?
No.
Test.
Test.
What?
Yo.
You should have said something, dude.
I got like 5 minutes into it, and I'm like,
Why are we wearing these
can't take 'em
stupid
off
things?
Only 3 of these are plugged in.
There's one.
Way to go, Ken.
No, I didn't set this
It was
up.
me.
What does this sound like? Not having audio.
Yeah.
Unplug mine. Unplug mine.
I don't know what
Bro, you just can't hear shit. What do you mean?
Now do it.
Dude, I feel bad. Like, I'm
How
sorry.
did you even hear what we
do
were
that whole
saying?
Put this on for a second. This is what it's supposed to sound like.
Because
oh, I know. I do most.
It
of mine
sounds
with
just
headphones.
real nice,
man,
you
I wish
know?
you would have said something. I feel awful now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a rookie ass podcast. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
We need to pick it up.
Shitty podcast.
We need to pick it up.
I went on the CBoys podcast and I didn't hear a single fucking word they said.